All right, cool. We are live streaming now to YouTube and to the rest of the world. And I'm going to go ahead and say the Firearm Pledge. I pledge my mind to the respectful recognition of the sovereign liberty essential to human dignity. I pledge my hands to the creation and maintenance of communal, cultural, and ecological prosperity. I pledge my eyes to watch over the integrity of truth and justice with acceptance of the natural balance of diversity and equality. I pledge my heart to the connection that binds all of us throughout creation. And I pledge my whole being with humility and love to the grateful service of all sentient beings and human consciousness. And I will duly act in accordance to the principles derived from such wisdom. Welcome, everybody. Today is Monday, November 1st, 2021. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and this is the Fireside Chat for Fireon in the very early days of its inception. So if you're watching, 1,000 years from now or 100 years from now, this is kind of how it all began. So we've got a number of people from our community on with us today, and I'm going to give us a real short, brief synopsis of where we're at in the past 2 weeks. I was supposed to go to Dubai, and I'll get into why I didn't. But I want to start off by saying it's been brought to my attention that we are being paid attention to now, and in a good way. And so I want to be clear that I can say certain things, and there are things that I really want to say, like about who we're doing business with and what's going on behind the scenes. But I have to start being careful now, just because it makes sense for us to kind of keep it under wraps, let things happen, and then when they happen, kind of surprise everybody. Happy to discuss this privately with any of you all, but there's a lot of good news going on internationally for Fireon to be doing the front-end banking systems for several countries at this point. We have a United States project that's going on that is today. I'm going to hear about it today or tomorrow, hopefully today by the end of the day. And if it goes through, it's huge for us, like huger than huge, because then all of the verticals get turned on at the same time. The phones, I got the first two prototypes. I left them in the house. I should go grab them. But they don't have our sensors in them yet. They gave us the phones, so now I can use them as sales material to go get those contracts. I've met with the people who are heading up that department. They have a number of leads already for the U.S. government and military and TSA and other countries to sell the phones, which is very exciting. We are on the verge of like everything going. I think we have an update in the App Store that just either came out or will come out in the next couple of days for the next iteration of the Fireon app. I've been off for 2 weeks. Was supposed to go to Dubai and meet with these folks who were connected with the sheikhs and the kings and crown kings and crown princes of Saudi, Yemen, Saudi, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. Instead, I met with a municipality here in the United States. And I had to cancel the trip to Dubai because this was the only opportunity I was going to have to speak with the representatives from this municipality. And they are really keen on blockchain and implementing blockchain for a number of things, including payroll. And I've been making the case why they should use Fireon, because we're already going to be doing stuff in their municipality, so they should work with us. Anyway, they were very, very receptive. It was very positive. I have been working kind of nonstop on getting that front going so that we can have a good presentation for them this week and next week. In terms of the quests, this is what I would like to do. I would like, Tara seemed really keen on doing it and doing an event in her area and getting fire tokens. And what I would love to do is say, if you have a program in your area that you want to do, pitch us, tell us what it is, and then tell us what you need, and then we'll see what we can get you. I don't have the bandwidth to kind of focus on everybody's different projects and try to get our big clients across the finish line. What I want to do is empower you all. We've got our volunteers together and we figured out how we're going to do that. We're going to kick that off probably this week. with our community managers. We're going to be posting, sharing posts, and sharing outside the network, and then we're going to start rewarding them with fire tokens. What I'd love to do in addition to that is get the fire on. Oh, somebody's got. Let me see if I don't know if I can mute everybody.
Was it me?
Yeah, it might be you, Jeremy. So then we want to get these fire tokens out to people. So if you have projects in your area that are good for the community, whether it's beach cleanups, whether it's, homeless food kitchens, or whatever it might be, tell us what you'd like to do, what you need, what we can support you with, and then we can get you fire tokens for those events. And I think that just about covers it. It was a real brief, coming off a holiday, so I'm a little bit tired, but yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on with the local municipality. We've got our country deals now with our partners in Dubai. I managed to come to an agreement without necessarily having to fly out to see them, and we're waiting on a huge government contract as we speak. So everything's going really well. And I'm very excited. But I want to empower the community to get some quests going, and then we can start, really promoting them, and then getting the word out about them, and start getting fire tokens in everybody's hands. Oh, for the coins, we've filed now, and we're going through our process of finding the right crowdfunding company to launch on, so that we can get you all tokens at a good rate if you want to buy them, but also get them ready for the public at a later date for everybody to be able to purchase them. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions and or comments. And look in the chat. Thanks, Daniel. That's a good one. Does anybody have any questions? Multivitamin E or multivitamin X. We've never seen you here before. At least I haven't seen your handle. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and where you're from and what your superpower is?
You've seen me. I'm just on from a different device. So you got my old
hello. Very cool. How are things out there?
Oh, pretty wild. Pretty wild. We've got 80% of the workforce being under mandate for vaccines by the end of the year. So pretty interesting. But
have a lot of people quit?
We won't really know, I think, until the new year, because it's today is a deadline for one tier, which is like all healthcare people, and then next month is the second group of people, and then January is the third. So it's a weird scenario, but yeah,
that's what's happening here. We've got all of these prison guards, that pilots, they're not able to fly the regular amount of routes now because there aren't enough pilots. The New York police, or New York Fire Department, California police, everybody is, because they've hit the deadline here, I think, and so they're down to like half their workforce. They say only 1/3 haven't done it, but I really think it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's a bit different, I think, because we don't have religious exemption. And like medical exemption is very, very restricted. So you have to basically have anaphylactic shock in front of a doctor to be considered.
Right.
And even then they'll make you just go and have the second dose in like a hospital setting so that they can manage the anaphylactic reaction. It's like very, very tight. So yeah. But other than that, oh good. I've been out of commission for a couple of weeks, so I'm glad to be back in the chat.
There you go. I've been out of commission for a couple of weeks too. I think one week I was I had meetings, and then the other one I was supposed to be in Dubai, but rather than do the meeting, I just took that time to keep working. Well, thanks for chiming in. I'm glad you're okay at least.
Yeah, all good.
Yep. Josh, I think we've seen you before, right? And Randy, I'm pretty sure you guys have been in here before.
I have not. I'm new. I'm just trying to, look more into, what this company is all about and how I may be able to help in the future.
Oh, great. So how familiar are you with FireOn?
I've gone over your website. I've looked at the white paper and I looked at the presentation deck. So that's about it so far.
Okay, sweet. So the whole concept revolves around a blockchain, basically a HIPAA compliant blockchain, and the fact that we're able to scramble people's data to the point where we can't see it, but we can KYC them into a safe space, basically to be able to have, you know, their bank account, a non-custodial wallet, and essentially we can provide you banking services like a cooperative bank that is owned and managed by you, the users. And so it's a method of decentralization of governance, right? So we've got a lot of there's governance that's according to code, and people kind of code the governance into how a DAO works or into various blockchains. But instead of doing it that way, we look at and we say it really depends on people, and the only way to structure a real blockchain, because I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit, but you know what's going on with Ripple, right? The United States is looking for regulated currencies or cryptocurrencies or blockchains essentially that meet the standards of having enough centralization so that there is accountability, but also decentralization to be able to process the transactions quickly and effectively. And the only one that meets that right now, according to the United States, is Ripple, right? And that's because they're very centralized and their governance is very centralized. It's the same as a board of directors, same as every corporation. So the way we look at governance is saying, well, in order to play in the field of the future, we're not going to destroy governments, right? We're not going to destroy the way that the banking system works right now. But what we are going to be able to do is create a transition so that when they naturally collapse, because they will, because of poor practices and corruption, that we create a system that is incorruptible, prevents civil attacks, and allows people to do business in a clear and good way that incentivizes good actors. By doing that in a way where we create governance that is accountable, everybody has a role to play in the corporation, but are immediately accountable to their network and to the greater network as a whole. If people start behaving poorly or making decisions that are not good on behalf of the entire system, and it's obvious, then you can rate those people like an Amazon product. And if their threshold of a quorum based on the phi ratio drops below that phi ratio, they are no longer, they lose their, it's smart contract coded, their token access, their NFT, basically their token that allows them access to part of the app where they do their job, gets revoked. So imagine if we had immediate accountability on our governors or senators and they started doing shit we didn't like and we could recall them right away. That's what it was before the Federalist system in the late 1900s. Early before that, if your senator or congressman did something you didn't like, you could recall them as a state. That was preventing corruption. So we need to be able to take that system and methodology and bring it into the 21st century. And we do that through our blockchain and quantum system.
Which is awesome. I found you through Tori Says, and I'm working with local residents to take our county and state back. And that's why I was really attracted to your startup here. And in the future, once we've done that, I mean, I'll be reaching out to see if there's other ways I can help or do what I can, because I really do believe in what you're trying to do.
It is the only way we get to move forward as a species. Like Tori even said it, like what comes next, right? Because the system we're looking at is completely broke. And I'm like, here I am, we're here, we're building it, right? And it's and the idea is that if we can create a clear and clean enough system, then we can do business together and it can be, towards the good. And based on the systems of permaculture, whereby the abundance that we create, we share with those around us and we create new abundance. So like if we're processing everybody's transaction fees and we're making $1 million a month, we go to you, the community, and say, what do you want to do with this $1 million? Do you want a garden project? Do you need to hire some lawyers and do a class action against so-and-so? Do you have a business you want to start, right? So it's really up to the people, and it's kind of like how things are supposed to have been. And I appreciate you being here and asking the question, because it kind of gets me ramped up. I've been sort of in a funk for the past few days. So I'm 16 days now, no more smoking, but it's like really messing with my head.
You can do it, man.
I don't want one. I'm just like, the way I look at the world has shifted and it's uncomfortable.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence that I found you at the timing that I have via her. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more and more that will start coming to these chats.
Right. I think that we need to build a momentum of people and a God energy, like so clearly, like this is the God vibration: love, peace, acceptance, compassion, intelligence, what is it? Competence, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to take pride in our lives and in the gifts that God has given us, and really be accountable to that and do something good with it. And if people are really all just about greed and their own self-aggrandizement, we get the kind of corrupt world that we're watching fall apart. So it's us good folk that need to stand up and say, this is what we want, right? And start building it. And that's the whole reason for this. And we're going to make a lot of money, like it just makes more sense to do things the right way.
Yep.
So thanks for being here, Andy.
Thank you.
A little off topic, and this has come up and I haven't read it yet, but I have an Android phone. I have a very old Android phone, so the app has, I think, some limited functionality on that platform. I also have some. Do you have any plans to create a browser-based or PC, or like a Windows-based interface for those of us who are a little more comfortable with larger screens?
100%. Yeah, the whole idea is essentially a progressive web app that is not beholden to Google or to Apple. We're very ambitious that we want to own all the verticals, but at the very, very least, we can create a progressive web app on a new web layer, essentially, that we've got that
similar to what Float's attempting.
Kind of past what Float's doing, but yes, they're doing that. I've got their app, and I say app, but really what I've got is their icon on my phone.
Right.
I can't see it because of the green screen, and it leads to the progressive web app. It leads to the page, right? So that's what we're going to do. But we literally have a whole new layer of the internet, the whole internet, that we can turn on and deploy. And these are all in stages, but it's a very we have to do it step by step in a very deliberate manner, right? We can't just go turning on a new internet when we haven't done the background infrastructure with relationships with people to kind of make it, like we could have the best mousetrap in the world, but if people don't know about it, they don't buy it. So we have to do some background work. And to that end, we have to get our our second round of investors in here and get our contracts with those 3 big people that I was talking about. Once that happens, then it's game on, right? And then we're going to get people like Tori. We're going to get people who have a voice, B a reason to or a way to gather people together and motivate them in a certain direction, and to think for themselves and to be able to empower themselves, right? Like essentially what we want to give is humanity a tool to empower yourselves, to educate, become more financially capable. And to do that, we have to do it on a web-based platform. There can't be any bottlenecks. We can't even have bottlenecks in phone manufacturers, right? Because we're talking literally about a subset of humanity which are anti-human, and they've got a lot of people sort of living in their structure of how the world is, right? And that's dangerous. And if we can create a clear, free, clean place where humans can actually get together, make decisions together, trade together, and do so in a responsible manner, then we actually have hope, right? So that being said, yes, progressive web app.
Thank you.
Because again, that gets rid of the bottlenecks of the app stores. Any other questions? So a lot of my updates are all on the boring side. It's just negotiations and contracts with clients, and it's hard to say, here's a measurable thing, because some things I can't really say publicly yet. But to that end, around the tokens, like the quests, we're going to get our community managers activated here. They've sort of all got their mission briefs and what they're supposed to be doing. And then we're going to start handing out fire tokens for that and keeping track of that. And then also on the quest side, I think it would be a good discussion to have in the Fireon chat and even in the baseline chat. And somebody find Tara, Shay, and Nanda, and then we kind of figure out how we want to do the quests and who wants to head that up in the community. Maybe some of our community managers can do that. I don't know what, like I would go and do a beach cleanup for sure, just because we're at the beach and it's something easy. But I'm totally in support of any projects that people have, whether it be, filings, right? Like that Tori and her crew are doing. I've offered Tori, by the way, Randy, if you talk to Tori, let her know. I would totally give her and all of her community fire tokens for doing all of the writs and the affidavits and stuff. I think that would be a really good use of them.
I will do that with my region of my state and then roll it up to our state. We have admins that have better communication lines with her than little old me per se. But I was going to.
We don't even need her, right? If you guys are doing some good shit, like just show us what you're doing, and then we'll show you how to get wallets, and we'll start giving you coins.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, how can we step up to be that kind of community representation for Fireon? How do we get that like, do you have a handbook to help us kind of get started with that? Because we've already done 2 writs of mandamus and filed several affidavits, and now we're doing, maybe in the future we'll do some core warrantos.
Yeah, no, that's great. So basically, why don't you DM me, and then we can have that become the template, and or since this is in the spirit of Fireon, like what does everybody else think that's on the call with us right now? What's a good way of, like, let's say they've got projects that they're doing that are good for the community, good for the nation, good for their community members. Like, how do we reward them? Do we just say, okay, here's 5,000 tokens, distribute them as you see fit to those who've been involved? Like, I'd love to hear some ideas.
Well, I mean, that would certainly be a motivational, I think, way to get in on the ground floor. I mean, if there were some maybe forums or a group that you could point them to, there were maybe people could share ideas back and forth about how to motivate each. I mean, I'm sure that there probably are that already, but if we had maybe more formalized group for that people would go and say, how do I get involved? And kind of point them in the right direction. That would probably generate some enthusiasm. Maybe I'm just behind the curve and not, my Android app, there's so many hundreds of messages a day. I have trouble keeping up. So,
yeah. I mean, the app is a great place. Like, if you guys, that's the problem, right? You've got Telegram, which you guys have been using effectively in all of the different regions. And like, well, why fix something if it ain't broke? But Fireon is there, and you guys can create groups there. And what we're doing is we're giving out fire tokens exclusively for early birds, to only those people that are on the app. So it would make sense that if you guys get in there, we can have a discussion on how to reward you guys. But also it's got to be replicable, right, Eric? Because like, if we say, all right, here's this region, and for every writ that they write or every affidavit they get 100 fire tokens or 10 fire tokens or whatever it is. Then every other group around the country that's doing the same thing will want the same thing, right?
Yes. This is going to be amazing, because a lot of us that are in these groups actually taking the actions are, some old fogies that don't necessarily understand blockchain. We're doing it for the children of tomorrow. But, if we are able to use this type of motivation, it'll attract a younger crowd to get motivated because they do understand blockchain, cryptocurrency, etc. So I think this is amazing.
Yes. Okay. So anybody else on the call have any ideas on what good reward would be? So think of a fire token as $1, right? Because that's what they will be launched publicly at. So let's say, but also, they have the potential of going up a lot. So this could be something for like those future generations, like you were saying, Randy. If we gave out, I don't know, maybe 1,000 for a writ, and then everybody who's involved in that, you distribute it however you see fit. We pick that one person, and then or maybe 2,000, right? And that's for the writ and for all of the affidavits. Like, send out a couple dollars for every affidavit that's done. Or
because we're collecting money in order to be able to pay for the filings, etc. So I mean, we're already collecting dollars and doing that. And now with this to back that, I mean, I think this could help stuff spread as wildfire. I think this is amazing. I will DM you. I would like to go back and talk to my group and discuss it with them and start rolling it up to the state level and then up to the Tory level and see what we can do. Because, 1 to 5 people, it's going to be a small kind of brainstorming event. You get the whole group involved. I mean, I think we're going to see something beautiful.
Yeah, and we want to support. I mean, in any way that we can. This is why Fire was created.
This is exciting. Thank you.
The fire of the fire of God, right? In the hearts and souls of everybody. So happy to field any ideas. If you're like, hey, we think we should get 10,000 for every state, and pass those out for every, so we can give everybody $1 for every writ or whatever. Like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
This is amazing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Very cool. Alliston, what do you think? Alliston, are you there?
She says she votes yes.
Oh, okay, cool. And what about you, Jeremy? Or Daniel? Anybody got ideas, thoughts?
Daniel's doing stores, so he can't chime in.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea. I'd say vote yes.
All right, awesome. And what do you guys think for around about a number? Like, if every fire token equals $1, and just for those who might not know, these different groups are writing what are called writ of mandamus, and what that is essentially a accountability letter to the governors or the head of the school board or whatever, saying this is what you were hired to do. This is the constitutional job you are meant to do, and you're not doing it, and we see you. And because you're not doing it, here are all these affidavits, meaning attestations by people saying this is how your ineffectiveness or your negligence is affecting my life, counterproductively. And so that's and they're affidavits, meaning they are like court ordained or whatever, like they're recognized as legal statements, right? So
yeah, they are filed with the state Supreme Court.
Yep. And so if we're flooding the state Supreme Courts with all of these letters saying this is how this judge is not doing their job, this is how this school board chairman's not doing their job, this is how the governor is not doing their job, this is ways that people still have that are like legal means by which that they can make their voices heard and hold people accountable. And so that's the kind of positive, courageous, empowered action that we support, that I support. And so like, what is a good reward system for that? If we can go $10,000 for every state level, or maybe 20,000, I don't even know. Like what sounds good, Randy, for you? Like what feels right?
I mean, let's do a token per dollar. So like filing in the Supreme Court is about $600. Doing an affidavit, okay. you have to go get certified at the bank or whatever, get the notary, which can, if you're not a member of the bank, cost you like $3. So okay. So for every filing, here's 600 tokens. For every affidavit, here's $3 or 3 tokens.
Okay, that works. Yeah. Well, let's just. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
Because we're using, and again, this is my ignorance of blockchain, but we are using real money to get this going, and all but 2 states, I think, have filed, and there's been thousands upon thousands of affidavits. So I mean, that's real money, real time. And then if you're rewarding people with Fireon tokens, that may spur more people to go do these affidavits and writs. Yep.
And the thing is like, okay, so the tokens have no place on exchanges right now. They're literally sitting in one wall. Exactly, right? But they will, and probably, I don't know about this year, but in the short term, they will be launched. So, okay, so what I guess I need to do is I need to make a video showing people how to open up their Trust wallet and or MetaMask wallet. And I guess the head of each state will come to me and say, this is how many, and basically just, we'll go on the Trust system, unless you think that we shouldn't. And
we're tracking everything. We can provide you case numbers and affidavit filing. Okay, it's all being tracked, sir. Trust me.
then that's best, right? Because that's what we want. And if we can register that on our on the app and on our blockchain, okay, so that's what we'll do. You get with your crew, figure out how you guys want to do it at the state level. I like your $600 and then $3 for every affidavit, and then I feel like make it 1,000 or something, and then that way you guys can have some just for organizing. And if you find people in your area that are doing that are taking initiative or whatever, give them some extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to give you an example, I mean, we have a lot of people doing this, but you still, let's just say out of 10 people, yeah, we're all gung-ho, but then when it actually comes down to the filing,
Only
7
3.
people take a step back.
Right. Yeah.
And I think this is amazing, because I think it's going to cause the 7 to go, whoa, wait a minute. There's some monetary reward. Let's think through this. Might give them that extra kind of gusto to go do it.
Okay, I love it. So yeah, we'll give you 600 for every the filing, and then another 400 to give out as you see fit to community leaders who are stepping up, and then 3 for every affidavit that goes out. And so, and what we'll have to do is at the state level is get the person who's going to hold the state wallet, and then have the video where everybody can go and watch and see how to open their own wallets, and then we can distribute straight to the state, and the state delivers it to everybody.
Sounds excellent. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll have to make that video today then. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't really have an ETA of when we're going to be able to get back to you, because it's like people got to talk to people. So I'm gonna say within a week or 2, we should be able to get back to you with something.
Yep. And I think it was on. I have to go into the website, and I had already made the instructional videos how to get your Fire token wallets and on Trust Wallet and MetaMask. So I will make those live. Either today or tomorrow. Give me a day, because today is already pretty busy. This is dope. I like this very much. This feels very right. I've been trying to do this, but in the spirit of Tori, it's not about Tori, it's about everybody. So the fact that you showed up, and that
I had a gut feeling I should.
Yep.
I just happened to see it on the Fire On Telegram thing, and I was like, yeah, let's jump on and see what happens. This is amazing.
That's funny. Yeah, great. Let's follow that lightning. All right, so you DM me, and then I'll share my phone number with you, and we'll figure out how to get this going on a logistics side. And if I need to, I'll bring in one of my counterparts, either Hawk or William, depending on who's more available, and then we can they can help me out there and help you guys out there when I'm
Sounds
not
great.
around. Okay, awesome. All right, very cool. I looked at all the chats. Everybody's, I think I've addressed, or we have addressed everything everybody has said here. Let's go, Brandon. Okay, cool. Anybody else? Any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns? All right, well, very good. Then I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to do a quick prayer. And I think we should do the meditations also, but we might switch that up to an evening or something, simply because it is a long time in the mornings, and I've got a lot of work to do for the week. So I'm going to do a quick prayer. Creator of the universe, thank you so much for these people and for the inspirations that you bring through each week. Something amazing happens, and I'm really, really grateful for that. Thank you for all of the good people who are doing work out there in the world and who want a better world and are working to make it happen for their kids and the future generations. Thank you for having a beautiful world to experience all this in, and all of the amazing opportunities that we have in health and well-being. I love you so much, and I love my family, and I love all of these people that are joining the call. And I very, 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 very much love my life and my family, and I'm very grateful for them. Please have pity on us and watch over all of those who know in their hearts and still listen to that soft voice within, and are going through this dark time, knowing that something good comes of it. And thank you for being being there for us and providing opportunity for us to do good and experience good. And I love you so very much. Thank you. Amen. Oh, and please watch out for all of those people who are in harm's way and who are working to make the world a better place and protect children. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, so on my to-do list is to make live that video. Make live the wallet video. Look for Randy's DM. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thank
Randy.
you.
Look forward to chatting with you.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
All right.